Hi guys. Let's see who we have. Hi Jay. Hi Krista. Hi Sharonda. Kat. Julie. Rita. Hello everybody. I'm gonna be able to call all the names, but just know I say hello. Give me just a minute. I got my little notepad here. And then I'll turn off the music. And how's everybody doing? Let me know in the chat. It's been a while since we had a little chat. Move the screen over here. All right. Okay. Music is off. We're here. Let's see what you guys are saying. How are y'all doing? Okay. Hello, hello. Can y'all hear me okay? Put a thumbs up in the chat. I restarted my computer before I got on here because my mic wasn't picking up. And it said my mic is picking up now. So I just want to make sure that I'm just, I'm loud and clear and I'm not talking to myself on here. Oh, thank you. I always intend on getting on live and then things happen. if y'all watch the channel all the time, about 2 weeks ago, I was like, yeah, I'm going to share lots of leads this week. I'm going to shower y'all with leads. I was really trying to. I had every intention on doing that. And then my baby came home with, I guess, like a stomach thingy. Like it had already started that Sunday. I'm talking about 2 weeks ago, maybe almost 3 weeks ago now. I can't keep track of time. But, I thought he was fine. And then he ended up having to come home that week and stay home for a couple days. And we took him to the doctor. And then I got it. It was like a 24-hour virus thing that he picked up from daycare. So just add that to the list of all the daycare diseases that I have received from him. But I was back up and running on that Friday. So I was only down bad for like a day. Okay, so y'all can hear me. Awesome. Yeah. So whenever I say, oh, I'm gonna shower y'all with leads, I have every intention on doing it. If I don't shower y'all with leads, just know something happened. Yeah. Oh, you had it too, Kat? Yeah, it was only one day. It was 24 hours. I was messed up. And I should have known something because I had, what kind of gave it away was I was just eating my morning breakfast. Y'all know I am very pregnant at this point. And I love my morning breakfast, but I was not into my morning breakfast. That should have sent up a red flag. And then I also was so tired. And I mean, I'm beyond the point where I wake up super tired. Like I hit that wall at the end of the day. It's getting close to that wall time, but I don't wake up super tired. So that was like tip number 2 that I should have known something was wrong. And then it didn't take long after that for things to go downhill. But only for one day. Okay, y'all. So I want to spend at least 30 minutes with you guys before I go. I said, let me get on here and just do an impromptu Q&A because I know y'all have questions. And there's a few that I already know I'm going to answer, but I'll let y'all ask them. And if you guys don't have questions, we can just chat. But yeah, how's the remote job search going for everyone? Talk to me in the chat. Thank you, Julie. I feel better. Yeah, it was just one day, and then I was back up and at 'em. It's slow. Oh, my class. I meant to click on the one that said. So the One Application Away challenge, the May cohort, that has already started. So we started this past Monday. We've got a nice group of folks. It's awesome. I plan on doing the challenge again. In my mind, I plan on doing this challenge monthly. But that's not going to happen because when baby gets here, I know that's not going to happen. But if all goes well, I will do at least one more cohort before baby gets here. So I might run it again in June in case y'all wanted to join and couldn't. I'll give y'all information if I do decide to do that. But let's see what y'all are saying about the job search. It's going slow. Miss Vicky said terrible. Oh no, very hard. Becoming very frustrating. Oh, congrats. Good news. We got to have some good news. Just start with Progressive today from that lead you shared a few weeks ago. Yay! Let's give Fresh Junior a round of applause. Awesome. Hard. Okay, finally found one last month. It's on phones. Okay, that's great. You have a job. Yes, you have a job. And I will also let y'all know my sentiments about jobs these days. I know last time I was on live, which I don't know if that was February or March, I had asked y'all, do you think we are in a recession? And pretty much everyone was like, yeah, I think so. You know, regardless of what they're saying on the news, I think so. And that's what everyone was pretty much saying. So I'm kind of at the place where, hey, if you're employed, give yourself a pat on the back because there's quite a few folks who aren't. And the news doesn't talk about those numbers. They talk about the favorable numbers that I'm not even so sure are real. So, hey, it's a job. It is a job. Okay, finally, still looking, applying. Has you feeling down? Don't feel down. I know it's hard not to feel down, but just know that it's going to feel like a job looking for a job. Okay, you have questions. You're in the right place. Evening positions. It's not that you could be missing them, but the thing about evening positions is they are kind of few and far between. Like you won't see those daily. You won't see them weekly. You won't even see them sometimes monthly. So if you see anything that says, you know, they're a 24-hour environment, they are offering late hours of any kind. Yeah. And I showed one today. It was a tech job, but they did mention that it was a 24/7 department. And so, you know, they might not necessarily say night job or overnight job in the job post, but if you find that that company operates around the clock, then that's a big clue that you might be able to do something at night. Give me just a second. Okay. Not good. Apply for 4 remote jobs so far. Tough. Okay, but staying prayerful always. Gotten turned down after assessment and haven't heard from a few. Okay, so it looks like a lot of folks are in the same boat. And I feel for y'all. That's why I'm sharing these jobs every weekday. I share these jobs just so that y'all have something that you might be able to apply to. But that also reminds me, and this isn't always the case, but since I'm always on these job boards and I've been doing this for a little while, I can tell y'all sometimes the jobs just aren't, jobbing. The jobs just aren't plentiful. The jobs just aren't what we really want to do. Like there's always jobs, but then some of them are like, I don't like that. And I'm looking at these jobs because I know what, y'all are looking for, and I try and share what y'all are looking for. And some days, like today was one of those days, there just wasn't a whole lot of really, really great options just jumping out. I had to really dig to find those jobs that I shared today. That's how it is some days. But just as many of those days where there's not a lot of jobs where, you're so excited to apply to, there are days where it's like, that one's good. That one, they just keep coming at you. So understand, it's kind of like an ebb and flow thing. Some days you got all the jobs in the world you want to apply to. Some days, not so much. But you just got to keep on getting on the job boards and searching. Awesome, Taylor. Taylor says she has been applying with intention and customizing her resume and cover letters and following up and not getting anything. Well, you're doing the steps that you need to do. So you're putting your best foot forward. Keep doing that. It's going to take a lot of applications. And I figured this out like back in 2016. Like after I got hired to work on mine as a tutor and I was reflecting on my experience, I figured out that I had to literally treat it like a job. I would get up early in the morning. I'd eat my breakfast, I'd get my laptop out, and I start putting in jobs around the clock. I'm talking about I'm not going outside. Like I'm pulling a shift, putting in job applications. I'm refreshing the job board pages. And I mean, I really didn't have any business going outside anyhow, because, if you need a job, you probably need money. And every time you go outside, you have to spend money. So I was inside looking for a job like it was my job. And I'm talking, hundreds of applications. And I ended up getting hired. So I always tell everybody it's going to feel like you are, working a job, just looking for a job. It's not going to feel, that good. So sometimes we just got to know what it is. We just got to know what it is. Let's see what else y'all are saying. Oh, this is a good question that I want to address. So Baby All says, hello, Delilah. Do you know any free online courses for data entry skills or other skills? I want to gain those skills so I can increase my chances of getting the job. Y'all know I always want to steer y'all in the right direction. For data entry jobs, okay? For data entry jobs, the things that matter most, okay, is that you are a proficient typer. So we're talking about, you can use this keyboard. Probably can't see it because, okay. Use a keyboard. Don't have to be wireless, but I'm just trying to give you guys the idea. You need to be a proficient typer. No pecking. We can't be doing this pecking business, okay? Also, for data entry jobs, a lot of the times, they want you to know 10 key if it's going to involve a lot of numbers. Not always. You can get away with, being a proficient typer, But, the 10 key, it just depends on what kind of data entry role. But that's a good skill to go ahead and learn anyhow. Also, with data entry jobs, they always want you to know Excel. So, Microsoft Excel, okay, Google Sheets has their version. Okay, they want you to know how to use Microsoft, and they'll also talk about like the Google Suite because those are just as common these days. And then they want you to be analytical, be able to process data, that kind of thing. If you have to make graphics or put together reports. But as far as are there online courses to learn that? Nothing I can recommend. I'll never tell y'all run out and get something if you don't have to. It's the skills that you have to show up with. That's the main thing about data entry jobs. You got to show up with those skills. And if you are trying to, do data entry and not just something general, if we're getting into specific career paths where there's a lot of data entry, healthcare, okay, you'll find a lot of data entry jobs in healthcare in some form or fashion. And, just in general, across the board, any type of administrative role within any sort of career field. So it's more about the skills versus going and taking a course. Now, if you say, Delilah, I don't know how to type, I don't know 10 key. Well, typing software is like Mavis Beacon. Okay, you can go online and buy a copy. You can go down to Best Buy and buy a copy. But that's the key, and then they have, what is it, like Office something, teaches you Microsoft Office. So like you can go to Best Buy, go to their software section and find a course, I guess not courses, but softwares geared toward teaching you typing and teaching you Microsoft Office. And you can go on good old free YouTube University and learn how to do different stuff in Excel. I have found multiple channels, I can't name any off top, that, every video is about how to do something in Excel, how to do something in Google Sheets. Okay, so you want to learn how to do, Microsoft Excel, you can go on good old YouTube University. But I would not recommend any sort of online course about data entry because it's kind of general. Hopefully that answers your question. And I'm pretty sure, several other people have that question too. I lost my place in the chat. So if you had a question, please re-put it there. Put it back in the chat. I'm just going to scroll all the way down. Let's see what Stacy says. I have a question. So I saw the Hartford for sales, but I don't like sales. They did have a senior disability analyst position, which I applied for. I had an assessment test. Okay. Everybody don't like sales. That's all right. Yeah, everybody doesn't like sales. And it's okay. It's good that you know what you like and don't like. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. Check your local library. Okay, cool, Taylor. And I'm always down to the library. I got my book bag over there. See, I take that book bag with me when I travel and when I go to the library. And I've been down to the library a lot lately. I've been enjoying my library time. Learning, reading books on career and whatnot. And the library has a lot of programs, which I never really paid attention to, but I was just there to fax something. And while the lady was back there faxing it for me, I was looking at, their calendar and I'm like, wow, they do a lot of stuff at the library. So I would not be surprised if they do have typing and whatnot. Yeah. Do I still use Google Bard to search for jobs? Oh, you're referencing a video that I did last year? I use Google Bard sparingly for searching for jobs. I kind of have a routine down. I have a VA who helps me out. And then after the VA sends me jobs, I look at those jobs and then, any additional ones. So I was making that video to give people an idea on how you can kind of condense time if you find that you don't have time for the job search. But I kind of like to do mine from scratch. That's how I like to do it because I get more results with it. But Google Bard is a way to find jobs, and I have a video all about that. Oh, Google has free typing test? Cool. Okay. Julie's putting in that work. Okay. How to do better assessments. I actually did a live about this about a year ago. Let me go to my channel and I'll put the link to that live because the live was dedicated to, the common questions about job assessments. Can you pass them? Can you study for them? I have that link right here and I'm going to put it in the chat. Okay. So I just put that link in the chat and it's a link to a live that I did about assessments. You are welcome, baby doll. Okay. What kind of... This is another good question. What kind of job would you recommend after getting back into the workforce after 3 years? I did customer service and Medicare sales, and I don't want to go back. You don't want to go back to Medicare sales? You don't want to go back to customer service, or both? And you won't like my answer, but if you're trying to get back into the game, and it's been 3 years, and you need someone to say yes, I always tell folks, try those 1099 call center jobs that are going to be customer service. Try no experience roles. Even though you have experience, no experience roles are going to be easier for you to get on with because it's been a little while. And, any company that, is doing some type of customer service or, inbound calling, outbound calling, sales, which I know you don't want, those are going to be your go-to. But the bright side is once you have that recent experience on your resume, you no longer have that gap. The gap is what gets people, because if it's been, 3, 4, however many years since you worked, it might be difficult to get hired for the jobs that you have the experience and years of, to qualify you to do. It's just a lot of times companies are going to be looking at the people who, recently just got, unemployed or are currently employed. So that's my advice on that. How to pass ATS system when you have listed the keywords. Well, there's a couple of things that go into the ATS. Okay. So something that I have discovered with resumes that people share whenever I do my one-on-ones, the format, and I've even tested these with like resumes that you'll get off of, you might go to Canva and make a resume, or you might Google, free resume template or something. I've tested those. And what I've found is if you are trying to get through an applicant tracking system, the format of a lot of those resumes does not gel well with the ATS. So what I mean is, and a lot of these aren't super sophisticated. A lot of companies have not gone into AI to parse resumes. And, they're still using like just, your regular old parser. And what's happening is sometimes because of the format of our resume, the parser is not picking up the information for the appropriate section. So if your resume is formatted in a way that just doesn't agree with the parser or the ATS, I'll call it the ATS, it's not going to pick up your experience where, your experience is. It might leave it blank. And I've been, testing out different things to add to the software. Y'all know the remote resume builder software. Me and my team have that software. And I've been looking into, how do I test out these things and, maybe implement it, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, not to get too techie, that's one. The format isn't agreeing with the ATS. So it's blank where it shouldn't be blank after it's gone through the ATS. The other thing too, which most people are focused on, is the keyword thing. So keywords, you got to give them context. So yes, we're looking at the job post, the job lead. We're looking at what it says and how it phrases things. And we want to do that too on a resume. But I've seen some not so great advice about, just put all the keywords you see in the job lead into your resume. And that doesn't necessarily work, because let me give you an exact example. So let's say the job lead is saying, we want you to be proficient with order entry. And it's like a customer service job. Just because you put on your skills order entry, that doesn't, put you in the clear. If you have that skill, then that means you learned that skill from a job that you once held. And so not only in the skill section would you have order entry, you would also have that in your experience section. So, what job did you get that order entry experience? But because a lot of times people don't actually have that experience and they're just putting the skills and the keywords and stuff on there, it's not quite doing what it needs to do, because you can't prove that you have that skill. So maybe it might be making through the ATS, but when it actually lands on a hiring manager's desk, they aren't seeing that you can back up what you're saying. So, those two things might fix, any issues you have getting through the ATS. Okay. Oh, this is a very good question, Taylor. My videos about 1099 jobs, I was just looking at my videos today. I'm like, how has it been like 5 years since I've talked about 1099 jobs specifically? I have videos about all of the 1099 companies. And I'm like, it's been how long since I've talked about these? Like, I'm talking pre-pandemic. Okay, so I'm actually in the process of putting it on my calendar to make that video. And I already have a video about medical billing and coding that I have not forgotten about. I just have not made. So that's another one that's coming. And I'm not playing any games this time. Okay, I don't have any excuses. I got to get these videos out. So I will make an updated video about that. But if you are looking for that, like those videos, I have a playlist, and I think it's called like Arise or something. And there's a bunch of companies in that playlist that are 1099. So I'm making an updated one very, very soon. Yes, ATS means applicant tracking system. Okay. All right, y'all. It's been 30 minutes? No, it hasn't. It's been 30 minutes since I've been on here. No. The clock is wrong. It's about to be 6 o'clock, and I told y'all I was gonna be on here till like 6, because I gotta feed my child. I can't believe that. What does an applicant tracking system do? Well, it does multiple things. I was trying to highlight this one. So first, here's the simple, what does it do? It weeds out the resumes. So if you think about all the people who might apply to a job, let's say I post a job today and 1,000 people put their application in. A human is not going through 1,000 applications manually. They're not flipping through all these resumes and cover letters and whatever else you got to submit. They're not doing that. That's too many. So to work smarter and not harder, the applicant tracking system is going to weed out resumes that don't match the criteria of the job. And there's lots of people applying to these jobs that don't meet the criteria. So, it might, be maybe, I don't know, I'm just throwing out a number. This is an actual real number. If 1,000 people apply to a job, maybe 200 resumes might get through the applicant tracking system. Now it's on to the next step of weeding down the resumes. The whole process is making, a big number get smaller and smaller and smaller to the point where now a human is going to look at the resumes, look at the applicants, and move on to the next steps of the hiring process. So the whole purpose of it is to, weed down those applications and then, move along those qualified applicants in the process of, being hired. Okay, y'all. I didn't get through as many questions as I thought I was going to get through. And I got to go in like 2 minutes. It's 5:58. So I have to go in 2 minutes. But the good thing is I'm going to continue. I'm going to get on live. And I always say this. I'm going to get on live very soon. Yes, so the purpose of customizing your resume and cover letter is so that you can meet the qualifications and get through the applicant tracking system. Yeah, so that's why the keywords, I like to call it customizing versus keywords because, like I was explaining, people who just do the keywords, they're not always backing it up. You got to back it up. You got to prove that you actually have that skill. Okay, so this has been fun. I'll see you guys tomorrow on YouTube. I'll have another hot lead, God willing, and I'll be back on live very soon, very, very soon. And I'm going to go feed my son. Y'all, he eats me at a house and home, and he is only 2. This boy can eat. So I'm going to go feed him. All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.